All right, hi there. This is Coach Steve. Today we are going to do a 9-exercise, 3-round routine to hit everything bottom to top on your body. You can adjust this for your needs. I will give you progressions and regressions as we go. Each exercise will be 1 minute long. We'll do a quick warm up at the beginning and a quick cool down at the end. All right, so if we kind of center ourselves here, let's go ahead and turn side to side. Keep it nice and smooth. Warming up the spine. Make sure you get the ankles involved too. There we go, good. Nice warm up here. Get our body ready for exercise. All right. All right, let's come back to center. The toes are a little mad this morning. All right, let's touch it down if you're able to, and arms over your head. Got some bird food here, and I think the toe's ready for breakfast. All right, nice and smooth. If you can't get all the way down, just go where your range of motion takes you. We're just warming up for right now. All right, let's put our hands in the middle and we're gonna chop, bring it up, chop it down to your leg. All right, the things that you'll need today is if you want to have a mat, you can get one of those. Let's go ahead and switch directions. If you want some water, go ahead and bring some water. You can use some hand weights if you want. It's definitely not necessary. All right, let's come back to center. Let's roll out our shoulders. Nice big circles with the shoulders. Really stretch them out. All right, let's put our arms out to the side. Go ahead and make little circles with your arms. As you're doing that, don't forget, if you need to record this session on your watch, make sure you turn it on. Don't forget to do that. Can't get credit for it if your watch isn't on. All right, go ahead and switch directions. All right, so let's do a few hip rotations to warm up our hip flexors. So bring the knee up. You can hold on to something if you need to. And rotate that leg out to the side. All right, let's do one more on that side. And switch to the other side. All right. All right, excellent. So our first exercise is going to be a crab foot release. So we're going to get crab position. So if you're able to get down on the ground, go ahead and do that. If you're unable to get on the ground, you can just lift your leg right and left for each one of those crab lifts. So if we're in crab position, we're doing a leg release. So bring your leg up. Bring it back down. There we go. If you want to get a little bit more of a tricep workout, just slightly bend your elbows backwards and you'll really feel that in your triceps. And again, if you can't get on the ground, lift alternately your right and left leg. All right, 10 more seconds. And rest. All right, we're gonna do push-ups next. So to regress a push-up is to do a wall push-up, elevated push-up. You can do knee push-ups or you can do full push-ups. So what I'd like you to do a little differently today is stagger your hands a little bit. Do a push-up, switch hand positions, do another push-up. So do those as a full push-up or as a knee push-up. You can also do this from the wall too. All right, 15 seconds. And rest. All right, we're going to stay on the ground for the next one. So for this one, we're going to do a donkey kick. All right, so from an all-four position. And if you need to stay standing, just stand up and kick your legs straight back. But for this, we are going to kick our legs back. Really engage the glutes each time you kick it back. Working our hamstring. Working our glutes. Engaging that lower back. Got this, 15 seconds. All right. All right, we're on our feet for the next one. What we're going to do next is called clock lunges. Let me move my mat out of the way for a second. So we're going to keep your left leg planted. All right, we're going to lunge forward like you're going out to 12 o'clock, then to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, we got a side lunge, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, we're stepping back a little bit, 5 o'clock, we're stepping back, 6, we go straight back, 7, only if you feel like your balance is pretty good, kick it right behind, 8, a little bit further behind, 9 o'clock, going to do almost like a curtsy lunge, 10, we're stepping forward, 11, we're stepping forward, and 12, we're stepping back forward. All right, and then back to 1, and 2, and rest. All right, so for our next exercise, we're going to get into a squat hold. So let's get down and keep this position. As we're in this position, we're going to punch forward. All right, so if you're able to bend your knees a little bit, go ahead and do that. Keep those punches really snappy. Really get a good turnover on those. Don't forget to breathe. Go as fast or as slow as you need to today. But the snappier you get those punches, the more muscular work you're going to have for your arms and your shoulders and your back for that matter. All right, 10 seconds. And rest. All right, we are back on the ground, but if you want to do these next exercises from a chair, you can do that. But we're going to do number crunches. So for number crunches, you're going to draw numbers with your legs. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Here's big number 3. This really works your core control. It's a little bit easier if you keep your legs straight up, but if you want to make it more difficult, really take those numbers all the way to the ground. All right, 15 seconds. And rest. Whew. That's a tough one. Okay. So for our next one, we're going to do run-ups. So get back as far as you can. You're going to run up to your camera, touch the ground, bring it back. Run it up, touch, bring it back. So modifications for that, just stride it forward, try to touch the ground and bring it backwards. Forward, touch it back. If you want to progress it, really knock it out. Go as fast as you can, touch the ground. If you have a little more space, you can go further and then backtrack back. Just make sure that you keep yourself safe and there's no pieces of furniture or anything else in your way. So I'll try it sideways. So. All right, 5 seconds. And rest. All right. Next, we're going to do shoulder and upper back. So we're going to bend over like this. All right, and from this position, hang your arms forward. You're going to make a Y with your arms, an I, a W, and a T. All right, so Y, W, I, T. Y, W, I, T. Y, W, I, and T. Y, W, I, and T. I, Y, W, T. Y, W, I, T. 10 seconds, one more round. Y, W, I, and T. All right. Awesome. All right, for our next exercise, remember we did the clock lunges with our left foot static. So this time we're going to do right foot static. So we're going to 12. We're going to 1. We're going to 2. 3 is behind. So curtsy lunge. 4. 5 o'clock. Straight back for 6. 7, 8, 9 is the side lunge, 10, 11, and 12. And back to 1. And you can do these as fast or as slow as you need to. Go as deep or as shallow as your range of motion will take you. And rest. And that's round number 1. All right, so we can catch our breath a little bit here. All right, if you need to grab some water, go ahead and do that. Work on your deep breathing. Settle your heart rate down. If you're able to do this outside, you can connect with nature a little bit, as you can see from the background. All right, let's get back into crab position. All right, so remember, if you need to stand up to do this, go ahead and do that. But for our crab release, bend those elbows a little bit, kick those legs out. Good job, keep it nice and rhythmic. You can dip down a little bit more if you need to. All right, and rest. All right, our next exercise is a staggered push-up. So wall push-up, floor push-up, knee push-up, elevated push-up, wherever you need to go today. I'm gonna go to a staggered hand knee push-up. Stagger your hands. Why do we do this staggered hand push-up? Hits our chest at a slightly different angle each time we move our hands. So, it's good to change these things up because, as you know, life is three-dimensional, so we need to train three-dimensional too. So if you notice, a lot of these exercises work in different planes of motion in the same exercise. All right, we're up to our feet now. We're going to do our clock lunges. Get this out of the way a little bit. All right, we're keeping our left leg static. Lunge it forward for 12 o'clock and 1. And again, go at your own pace. This is too slow, you can pick it up. You could even add some weight to this if you wanted to. Remember, 6 o'clock is a back lunge. 7 o'clock is slightly behind. 8 is a little bit more behind. 9 is you're just about at 90 degrees with your feet. So try to get as low as you can. 10, we're coming up forward. 11 and 12, we're coming forward. All right, back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, straight back, and rest. All right, our squat hold with jabs are next. So get those knees bent a little bit. Our fists are coming up in front of us, and go. Try to keep those knees bent. Put a little hips in, put some hips into this, into these punches as well. Really working those stabilizing muscles in your legs when you're punching like this and you're moving your legs. All right, you got this. Seconds. And rest. Whew. All right, we're off to number crunches next. So, getting on the ground, or you can do this from a chair. Big numbers with your legs. Again, the higher you keep your legs, the easier it is. The bigger your numbers are, the more core control you're going to need to have to keep your legs up in the air. "15 seconds. And rest. Right. All right, for our next exercise, we are running up to the camera, touching the ground, and bringing it back. I'm going to do it sideways so you can see it a little bit better. Right, run it up, touch, bring it back. So you can run up to the screen, touch the ground, backtrack, make sure you're in a safe place. Get the heart rate up a little bit. All right, we got 20 seconds. All right, and rest. Whew. All right, this time for our clock lunges, keep your right leg planted into the ground, using our left leg to hit all of the numbers on the clock. All right, ready, and go. 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, curtsy lunge behind. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, back to 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and rest. All right, our last one is our last one, but RIYITW. So arms up in a Y, I, T, W. I, Y, 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 T, W. One more time. And rest. All right. Our last exercise, which we skipped, so we're going to get back at it, is our donkey kick. And again, if you have issues getting on the ground, just stand up and kick that leg straight back. All right, if you're on the ground, make sure you extend that leg as far as you can, engage the glutes. My little toady friend is right here at the feeder. All right. This is the last round for set number 2. And rest. All right, round number 2 is finished. Let's catch our breath. Grab yourself a drink. Get ready for round number 3, our last round for today. Make sure you smile. Make sure you think of a couple things that you're grateful for today. Maybe it's you got up. Maybe you had a nice relaxing cup of coffee. Maybe your birds are coming to the bird feeder. All right, let's go ahead and get into crab position to start our last round. All right. And again, if you need to stand for this one, hold on to something and kick those legs up. All right, get your butt off the ground if you're on the ground. Bend those elbows just slightly, and we're gonna kick our legs. This will really make those tricep muscles move ever so slightly and work those stabilizing muscles as well as those big moving muscles. So as you dip down and switch legs, those muscles have to adjust. So anytime you can not only do an exercise for the biggest part of the muscle, but if you're a little bit shaky, which you're going to be because you're shifting your body weight, that's going to help those stabilizing muscles as well. All right. And rest. All right, we're flipping over for push-ups next. Again, if you need to do push-ups off of a wall, please go ahead and do that. I'm going to do knee push-ups, staggered hands, so we can hit our chest in a slightly different angle. All right, ready and go. All right, 25 seconds, our last set of push-ups. And rest. All right, for our next exercise, we're gonna do our donkey kicks. So we're bringing those legs straight back. Ready? And go. Engage those glutes every time you kick it back. If you need to modify this and you need to stay standing, then go ahead and just kick that leg straight back from a standing position. Make sure you engage the glutes. Tighten the glutes each time you kick it back. "20 seconds, you got this." And rest. All right, we're back to our feet. All right, our first set of clock lunges, so keep that left foot planted into the ground. Step it forward to 12. And 1, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Curtsy lunge for 9. 10, 11. Front lunge for 12. Slightly to the side for 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. Awesome. All right, let's get our legs a little further in hip distance apart. Put a little bend in those knees. All right, and we're gonna do forward jabs. So go as fast as you need to go to make this work for you. Ready? And go. Those hips into a 2. And again, same thing as we were doing before with the crab foot release. When we shake like this, we're really working those stabilizing muscles, which help with our balance, which help with running. If you're on uneven terrain, training those muscles. All right, we got 25 seconds. You can make it. And rest. All right, we are on the ground for number crunches. You could actually do these sitting as well. So if you want to do those off of a chair, just really anchor yourself down. I'm going to put my hands underneath my tailbone, tip my back a little bit, driving into the ground. And I'm going to start with 0. Nice big numbers. Again, you can make them smaller if you need to make it a little bit easier. And you can go faster too if you need to make it more difficult. And rest. Whew. Okay. All right, we're doing run-ups next. So, wherever you are, run up to the screen, tap the ground, and backpedal back. Make sure you're in a safe environment so you don't trip. I'm going to go side to side so you can see that a little bit better. You can go ahead and get started though. And again, you can intensify this if you need to by going faster. Changing those directions with your feet is really good for ankle mobility. Good job, 15 seconds. And rest. Whew. All right, so next we have Y, I, T, and W. So you don't necessarily have to go in that order. Let's just keep it a little more organized. All right, hinge at the hips. Y with your arms. I, W, and T. Y. I, W, T. Y, I, W, and T. And again, if you want to make this a lot harder for yourself, add a 2 or 5 pound weight in your hand. That'll really amp it up. Y, I, W, T. But this is really good for shoulder mobility too, because we're really putting our shoulders in all different types of positions to work that mobility. And rest. All right, so we have our last exercise in the third round, and the last round is our clock lunges. So we are keeping that right foot planted into the ground and putting that left foot on the numbers of a clock. The numbers of a clock that actually has numbers all the way around. Digital clocks, that'd be hard to do clock lunges for those. All right, we're doing it. 9 o'clock, 10, 11, 12, back to 1, 2, curtsy lunge for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Awesome, we did it. Now we're going to stretch a little bit. So if you need to grab a drink, go ahead and do that. If you're grabbing a drink, those of you that are ready to stretch, just roll out your shoulders nice and gently. All right, let's roll them the other way. Nice and easy. All right. Very nice. All right, let's interlock our fingers and stretch it all the way up. Get a long straight line from your knees, even your calves, side of your calves, all the way up through your hips. Stretch through your abdomen, stretch out those arms. Let's lean it over to the side. All right, back to center. Let's lean it out to the other side. Excellent. All right, let's put our hands on our hips. Let's rotate our hips. So do giant hula hoops with your hips. And super slow-mo so you can really get a good stretch with your legs all the way around. All right, let's rotate the other way. Nice and easy. All right, let's take one arm, bring it across your body and hold it with the other arm. Open up those fingers as wide as you can. We don't often stretch out our fingers, so make sure you do that. Stretch out the shoulder, the upper back. All right, let's switch. Open up those fingers. All right, let's go down into a low squat position and stretch out our lower body. Tilt it forward a little bit. Stretch that lower back. And glutes. All right, take your elbows. Push your knees out. And that'll really stretch those muscles on your inner thighs. All right. A little applause for you. I appreciate you coming. Go ahead and click the link down at the bottom to follow so you can get this content when it comes out. I appreciate you being here. It's Coach Steve signing off.